experience, but it makes immigrants of us all. That's why the best books surprise, not with reverential role models and literal recipes, but with enthralling stories that make us imagine the lives of others. My love for reading made me want to become a teacher so that I can share my experiences with my students and encourage them to read more. But I don't want to be one of those teachers who just reads from their book that students don't care about, or even worse, the teacher that just puts in the CD and presses play and lets the student listen to the book without talking about it. I want to be a teacher who makes a difference in my students' lives and who shows them what reading can do for them and where it can take them. My love for reading didn't come from school. In fact, I hated most of the stuff that I had to read. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to force my students to read literature that they don't care about. I don't want them to fall asleep because they think it's boring or get so frustrated and confused that they end up hating reading, because that's not good. What I do want is for my students to want to read, or at least be somewhat interested in it. I want them to be able to relate what we read in class to the lives of my students so that they'll be more open to it. The Literacy Matters organization outlines 4 important criteria to help engage students in reading. Adolescence is a time for growth. These students are transitioning from being kids to becoming young adults, and along the way they're dealing with things they've never experienced before. By providing students with literature that mirrors the same struggles they're going through, the students can see that they aren't the only ones who face these challenges. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn examines the life of a small-town boy and his maturation. At the beginning of the book, Huck is a poor, uneducated boy with no direction in life. Throughout the course of the novel, and with help along the way, he grows and changes intellectually and morally, becoming a good role model for other young adults. In the house on Mango Street, Esperanza tells her story of how she grew up. She grows not only physically, but mentally, sexually, and emotionally, and becomes a strong person for others to depend on at the end of the novel. She also writes to escape her problems and is another good role model for students to discover. As we can probably all remember, adolescence is a time of drama, drama, drama. Reasonably, students are interested in literature that focuses on resolving conflicts both internally and between others. Relationships are a great way to examine all kinds of conflicts. What better way to examine conflict than with drama? Students relate to Romeo and Juliet, not only because of similarities in age, but also because almost everyone has had a relationship that someone disapproved of. While the lovers' actions are extreme, it still shows the students that everyone goes through the same thing and that they're not alone. The Great Gatsby is full of examples of conflicts of morality, judgment, jealous lovers, envy of money, love, friendship, and understanding. Understanding the lifestyles of people who are different from you. It also shows the choosing between right and wrong. Students, especially those who have stayed close to home, enjoy learning about different places, cultures, beliefs, and time periods. By using literature, students can broaden their horizons without ever stepping foot outside of the classroom. Like Water for Chocolate allows students to enter the world of Mexican culture through the eyes of a young adult female. Her story shows that no matter how different a culture may be, or how far away a setting is, everyone goes through similar struggles. While the language of the stories of the Arthurian Knights may be more challenging to grasp, many students like hearing tales about knights in shining armor, damsels in distress, magic, and the search for treasure. They get to explore the myths, beliefs, and lifestyles of people living long ago. Adolescence is a time when students become interested in addressing problems in the social orders of the world. They begin to learn right from wrong. They begin to make their own judgments and decisions, and they want to feel like they have an impact on the world around them. Though the main character in To Kill a Mockingbird is still a child, this novel examines race and gender issues in a way that is easy for students to see and understand. Students can relate their personal experiences with the ones Scout encounters and see where society needs to be corrected and how far we have come. Told through the viewpoint from various members of an Asian family, When the Emperor Was Divine is another example of social injustice. Students can see what went wrong in this time and how they could help events like these from happening in the future. By reading more books and becoming more educated, you have a better chance of moving up in the world and having better opportunities, including travel. But even if you don't get the chance to visit foreign countries, you can still be transported in your mind when you read books set in faraway locations. Just like not everyone likes the same pizza toppings, everyone enjoys reading different materials. By allowing students to choose from different subjects like sports, music, history, society, art, they become more interested in reading and will be open to trying more types of literature. The fact that literacy matters doesn't relate to just reading stacks and stacks of books. Students can expand their literary skills by reading magazines, newspapers, blogs, and journals, by listening to books on tape, CD, on their MP3 players, by reading e-text, and downloading books onto their Kindle or Sony Reader. I'm not saying I want my students to bury their nose in a book 24/7. What I am saying is that I want to find ways to reach out to my students, to find ways to get them involved in reading so that they can begin to understand what they can accomplish through reading and the excitement that can come with it.